All right, so tell me, is this your golf swing? I see this so often in lessons, right? Can you see the club going inside? Can you see the person's head moving off the ball? It's such a common thing. I'm gonna tell you what you could be working on could be causing that, right? One of the biggest myths, one of the biggest misconceptions in golf, I want to dispel it forever, or at least get a better understanding of it, okay? Now before we go into fixing this and taking care of it in your golf swing, as always, I've got a free email list that you can sign up for at any time. On this email list, you'll get tips from me every week. You'll get a lot of free content that is not available on YouTube. It's only to my email subscribers. And as always, if you like my videos and they've helped you, feel free to like and subscribe. So here it is, right? How many times have you tried, or have you told somebody to try and turn back, right? Or to try to turn farther in the backswing, or to try to turn on the downswing? It's probably one of the most common words used. I know I've made the mistake of using it way too much, even in my own personal golf instruction, and I feel like I know what I'm talking about, right? I'm definitely a little more hesitant because I know that the timing of when and how you turn is so crucial, okay? So I've got a little PVC pipe here to illustrate, right? Imagine this was my three-dimensional spine here at address. Watch what happens when I just try to turn away from the ball. So as I start to turn, right, you notice how everything is moving away and off the ball, my center of my spine, my head, and obviously now my shoulders are working on a very flat plane. This would be great if I was hitting a ball that was up about a foot in the air, but the ball's on the ground, okay? So that's a really important thing to remember. Also, when you do this, you can see the club tends to go right inside. So if you ever watch video of your swing and you take the club inside or your head moves off the ball, I can guarantee you you're turning too much. Okay, so here's the thing. What do we do instead of turning, right? I'm gonna show you right here. So it's not that we don't turn, we just have to turn at the right time. And that goes for the backswing and the downswing. So when I say turn at the right time, what our spine should do first is tilt, or just a slight lateral flexion into my right side. So the base of my spine, not my upper spine, right? Not the top of the stick. It's not moving that much. I'm moving the lower part. And when I do this, if you watch it from both camera views, I do get some turn as I just try to feel like I'm actually just pushing over into my right leg. My head's not moving very much, and it's also creating a steeper angle to my body, which is very, very important for getting the club to track back more on plane. As soon as I start to turn away from the golf ball, that club is instantly going to go inside, and it starts a cascade or a ripple effect of coming over the top, standing up through the ball, a lot of other bad things. Okay, so back to this feeling here, right? So I want you to just first practice, take a golf club, take something like this, an alignment rod, and just practice moving the bottom of your spine over your right leg. So here I am, bottom of my spine moves over my right leg. Once I've accomplished that, now I can start to turn my shoulders, okay? Because my hips and my pelvis are in the proper angle, and I've properly gotten over my right leg. Here's me turning again. You see the difference in how that backswing looks? It's too flat, my head's moved too far off the ball, and I'm probably gonna come back around the other way on the follow through. So there's a lot of you out there too that, maybe you're coming over the top. The root of it is probably this takeaway, okay? You're looking at this, you go, oh, my backswing doesn't look too bad, but then I'm doing this on the way down. It's just a rebound from what you did in the takeaway. So if we can get you to properly tilt your spine, right? Tilt your spine to start, and then add some turn, right? Then I do actually get my shoulders to turn from here up to the top. And you can see that looks, if I did it here without the stick, I'm just gonna do it in pieces so you can see it. So I'm tilting my spine, I'm moving over my right leg, and then I'm turning to the top. That looks like a perfectly good backswing there, right? My head stayed very still, and kind of from this down the line view, my club, I promise you, did not go inside. What it also does is it sets you up to do it right on the downswing. That's why this is so important. So we take a look at it on the downswing, okay? When I'm doing it correctly, right? Here I am at the top. So this first movement in my downswing, same thing. I'm trying to get the base of my spine to move over my left leg, right? If I get here to the top and I just start to turn right away, same thing, I'm on too flat of the plane and the club is moving out now, right? Just the opposite of the backswing, right? It moved in, it moved out, okay? So here I am at the top. I start to push forward, bang, I get my spine to where my left leg is, which is about probably, just this release position in the downswing, just above club parallel. Now I can start to turn coming through. Okay, and that's really important because what it does is it gets us anchored over that lead leg. Like this lead leg is like a platform now that's so stable and solid. Now I can just turn right on it to my finish. So many of you out there that your lead leg looks like this, it squirms back and away, you jump up through the ball, we're not ever getting over to that lead side. So one of the feels that you'll have when you do this stuff, right? And stay tuned here because just in a minute I'm going to show you just some of the greatest players in the world, and I want you to look at it differently. That's what really helped me when I was looking at this, is if you see a turn or you think turn, you'll see a turn when you look at these great swings. When you actually see it, that's why I've got both camera views running. When you actually see it for what it is, you'll start to see what's really happening, and there's actually more tilt going on than turn. Okay, so back to what it feels like, right? When I get over to this position, I am so solid on this leg. Everything's totally loaded on top of my trail hip bone, and I'm very anchored, right, with this just great one-legged balance. So I'm up over here, and then I turn to the top. Now I move back over to this leg here, and then I turn coming through. So what I've seen as I'm working on this with more and more people, they're getting rid of this inside takeaway, right? This turning back, and that's going away. They're getting rid of the club coming over the top. But more importantly, something that's so hard to do, if you ever draw a line on your butt and you're looking at that, so many people are moving off that line, even in the backswing, or maybe they do a better backswing, but they move off the line in the downswing. This is all because of that overuse and that overtraining of the word turn, right? We think that's just going to be the key to effortless power and distance and all those things. And don't get me wrong, like I said, there's a time and place to turn, but it's definitely not in the beginning of the backswing, and it's not in the beginning of the downswing. There's a little bit more lateral tilt and lateral movement before the rotation really starts to kick in. So that's what I really wanted to share with you today. I've been teaching golf for a long time, and I really felt like sometimes there's not much new under the sun, but trust me, take a look at this footage that I'm going to show you, and you'll become a believer too. And then if not, go out and give it a shot on the driving range. Test it for yourself, and you'll see just how much more solid you hit the ball. And you'll get rid of some of these problems that maybe you've been fighting for years, right? Head moving, inside, over the top, swaying through the ball. That's all just improper use of how you're using your spine. All right? It's great to see you guys, and I will see you next video.
So interesting view here of Adam Scott hitting an iron. Let's take a look at this pelvis sway number, okay? That is that vertical line running down from the bottom of his pelvis, and that's showing you how much that point is translating to the right, right? So it's not staying centered and turning in a barrel, right? It's moving laterally away from the target. That's going to make that second position, right, which is his pelvis side bend, this number here, that's going to make that lead side dip down, which is why it's going to a negative number as he takes that golf club back. So that's really setting up a lot of the backswing motion, and then eventually what's going to be happening in the rest of his golf swing. So very interesting to look at it from this point of view, something that we don't quite see as much, as opposed to looking at it from, our normal vantage points. So here's a great example of Tiger working on this exact same feel. You notice in this video what he's trying to do to get his hips to work a little differently in the beginning of that backswing by pushing them away from the target. And he goes into it to hit a regular shot, and it's almost unnoticeable. So last example here of Jordan Spieth. And if you watch his spine and how it's moving as he gets near the top of his backswing, you're going to see a lot of that same action, right? So look at where the base of his spine is in relation to the top of his spine as he starts to work that club back to the top. That definitely is different than turning.